So, in composing a ritual, there are a number of things to take into account. Ritual board. So, this board right here, I have laser engraved with three various virtues that really hit home to me as far as the Voidist people. But no matter what kind of symbols you place on, a board, or whether you engrave them, whether you burn them, or whether you paint them onto a board, a ritual board is very good. It's very good to have like a placemat kind of for your ritual activities. And it's cloth ones are good as well, velvet, but I usually like to have like a thick board that really has you in contact with your ritual and really soaks up that energy. There's a number of other things that you can place upon the board as well as you see before you, but a couple of these things I'm going to talk about right now is this Ardi, this kind of like ghee lamp with a wick on it. So this is ghee, and this is a bit of a wick. This is usually used to kind of like make circles of offerings in front of a god or goddess. This is another holder of ghee, and it has wicks in it, cotton wicks as well. And this is kind of to kind of attract the energy in a certain direction, kind of draw it upward and forward and inward, as this star is placed with its uppermost wick forward, which means out and up. There are a number of other things that you can add to your altar or to kind of like your rituals. These are just metal containers that will reflect light once you put tea light candles in them. And tea light candles are a big part of many people's altars, shrines, and spiritual practices as well. The things that I have not talked about in past videos, maybe I should mention them anyway. This is my pillar of power. I've been putting power into this energy into this pillar and drawing it out for probably about 6 years at least, maybe 5. These two pieces right here, one is, they're both black sun organites, but one is in the shape of like a crystal, various shaped crystals, black sun organites, and this is a black sun organite skull. That is a Veve by Papa Legba that I've been working with for many years. I would say about 9, maybe 10. And that's the first Veve that I created for Papa Legba for opening gateways. And at the base of that Veve, we have a number of coins that I've offered to Papa Legba, as well as a bronze pendant tuned to Papa Legba that has, of course, a necklace coil upon it. That is that kind of sandy black stone there that I've engraved and placed blood upon, my own. That is a stone from one of my favorite graveyards, one that I go to quite often, and one that I engraved for many hours in order to place that particular Veve upon it. Now, back here is a healing candle, one that I actually got from Earthbound Trading Company. So usually you don't want to place very much stock in Earthbound Trading Company or companies that kind of have many chains and kind of produce their wares in mass or receive their wares in mass from individual sources that deal with a lot of bulk. But I definitely felt a vibe with that candle, and I do definitely need some healing right now. So I guess I would recommend that, use your intuition, use what you feel is right to buy. Though usually I wouldn't buy something like this from a bulk supplier or a chain like Earthbound Trading Company, but this healing candle felt really felt earthy. It felt like what I needed, so got it. And so this black tourmaline is also what I got from Earthbound Trading Company. So it's kind of a bit of a pillar. So you have to be careful with getting various crystals or items from spiritual shops that are chains. But this black tourmaline is very raw. I felt like I was drawn to it once again, and that was bought, as well as the little bag underneath it. But a lot of this stuff is, what feels right to you. And while I don't recommend buying from bulk shops, sometimes you're just kind of drawn to something, and that's okay. It's not a big deal. It may ting something within your spirit, within your body, that just feels right, and you make it a part of a ritual, and that's completely fine. But besides that, I do have some, and this is another incense. Though this is from a brand that actually has a lot of really quality stuff. Satya. So Satya has a lot of really good quality incense. This one is Mystic Yoga, and this is an offering to Ma Kali. But this Mystic Yoga incense that I will dedicate every single incense stick from this to Ma Kali, it's honestly, it has its own vibe to it. I've never smelled it before. It's like a combination of Nag Champa and Dragon's Blood from the same brand, and I think it smells like love and calmness. So I kind of decided to buy this. At any rate, this is kind of how I'm setting up the ritual. I will be moving this arti and lighting all these candles, and of course, this ghee lamp and these 5 ghee wicks. But this is kind of how I set up a ritual. It's very eclectic, 100%. And, there's a whole lot of hate out there for people who use a lot of different, eclectic things. A lot of people have the idea about, tradition. You have to do this way and that way. But I found that in my spiritual path over about a decade and a half, my manner of eclecticness, is that a word? My manner of being eclectic has produced a remarkable number of results in my life and in my being, in my spirit, and for the advancement of my soul. And I will say that this right here, this selenite slab, I also bought that today. And rather than using little pieces of selenite between these candles to make it a part of the ritual, I just have this selenite slab, and it just kind of amps up and kind of amps out in smaller ways. But that's kind of how this ritual is going to go, and I thank you very much for listening to me. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, shoot them down in the comment section below on YouTube, and feel free to like this video. It really helps out the channel, and feel free to become a patron on Patreon at patreon.com/darkrealist, capital D, capital R. And if you want to support my work, you can support me on Patreon. At any rate, thank you very much for watching, and see all of you on the channel in the future. Kling Kali Kiye Namaha. Om 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 Kling Kali Kiya 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 Namaha. Om. Divine Mother, gaze upon your children. Look upon us and aid us in advancing away from those things that hinder our spiritual progression, those things that hold our souls back and contain our life forces within commodities and objects. Draw us towards you, Divine Mother Ma Kali. There is only one way, and that is to become lighter and lighter of spirit and soul, to not be attached and to move on from these realms while still loving them. As one looks back with fondness, as a parent looks back on their children, we look back upon this world even as we leave it. Allow us to see the light above, Divine Mother. For that is the light that we seek. That is the light that we need. And that is the light who will show us who we are. Cleansing can only be attained through enlightenment, through liberation. It's never achieved through hurting others, or judging others, or taking up others' paths. It is our path that we take up as an individual towards you, our Mother, and towards the source that frees us from what society places upon our shoulders and places in our hearts. You free us of fear by showing us the way of compassion. You free us of anger by showing us the way of knowledge. You free us of the most base material by showing we've always been beyond that. Jaima, Jaima, Jaima. Om Kling Kali Kiya Namaha. Om.